I'm Drea.
I'm Meg.
I'm Tina.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Pardon My Stash. Welcome to Pardon My Stash, a podcast about knitting within the fiber arts and how awesome it is.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Getting a twofer today. Before we get into today's topics, let's talk about what we're working on this week. Drea.
I am still working on the Minted Hat by Andrea Mowry, and I am using Juniper Moon Farm in Moonshine. It's a cream color as my main color. And I'm using Oh Dang by Farmer's Daughter Fibers in Desert Rose for my contrast color. So it's super soft. It's got a nice halo. I'm almost done with it, and I should probably finish it this weekend, but I've been trying to work on it sparingly.
Tina.
I'm making beanies because I'm doing that thing where you have a craft show at the end of the week and you have a bunch of crap that you need to finish because I had a plan for a billion things and now I have to put it down to 2. So I'm making what I'm calling, so it's weird. So I'm using super bulky right now, clearly. And I'm just, I finished one hat that just kind of looks like, if I had to put it into a description, a Santa hat. Because
It's just a little Santa beanie.
Yeah, it's like a
just
red
need a
top.
palm.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun part. So I haven't been putting palms on any of them because I'm going to make the palm optional.
Oh,
and then
that's
you
good.
could pick your palm. So I found a canister, a tall vase that's clear from Dollar Tree. I'm going to fill it with the palms.
Oh, cool.
So you can see all the palms.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, and then you pick your palm. Anyways, but so this guy, yeah, he definitely, I wish he had a palm, but he's cute otherwise. This one, I was taking the leftovers of the white, or the cream-ish that it is, and I was going into the red, so it kind of looks like it's, I think my followers were saying they wanted it to call it Frosted Berry. That's the winter name right now. They went with Frosted Berry, so here we are. But yeah, it looks like it has little dots and it just looks like a very small gradient. And this will probably be done in before this episode is done.
So I'll tell you, that is my favorite thing about working with big yarn.
Yeah. But in terms of patterns, I don't know. I guess I could shout out my Very Vital because this one's definitely... I use the decreases in Very Vital on this one. And this one, I took the idea of the gradient from it's on 3,000 beanies. I just picked one that was free because I didn't feel like doing the math. And I took just the gradient part. And then I did I'm not doing the exact, it's just a Frankenstein. So it's making my own thing.
beanie.
But yeah, it's just kind of off the cuff.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. What's the yarn?
I want to say, this is all stash yarn. I want to say this is the white or the cream is Lion Brand Woolies and the red is Lion Brand Hometown.
Cool. It looks like Hometown.
Yeah, that's definitely Hometown. This one I want to say the white. I keep saying white. The cream is Woolies.
Jess.
I am currently working on a needle felted cardinal. I'm just doing it, but I've got a Google picture of a cardinal, and I'm using felt that I got from a rainbow pack from Felted Sky. Ooh. And an ornament blank that I also got from them. And yeah, I'm just freehanding a cardinal over here. I'm also working on the rose hip sweater by Anna Joanna, I think.
Anna Joanna. I think so. I don't know.
I am working on that, just not right at the second because it's hard to focus on color work and podcasts sometimes. So
always.
Sometimes. So that is waiting, but I am at the color work on the hem of that, and then once that is done, I will be moving on to sleeves.
She's just belting through that.
Meg?
So right now I am working on 2 headbands for the aforementioned upcoming craft fair. These are my free pattern, No Place in Mind headband, and I'm doing them 2 at a time on one needle just to try to get them done faster.
So smart.
I don't know why I didn't do this. I probably banged out 4 of them before I was like, duh, like I could just do this together.
Oh my God.
Sleeves.
No, because now I'm thinking, oh, I'm so mad at myself for no. That's fine. No, it's fine, Meg.
realization.
It's not. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself.
You can't be mad at me. I didn't do anything.
No, you gave me a fantastic idea. I know. I just sound mad. So it's me.
No.
I'm the problem. It's me.
No, I just thought of it the other day because I'm like, oh, I have a really long circular, so I can do this. It's not. I don't know if it's necessarily faster, but it's like doing 2 at a time sleeves where it's they're getting done. So I have one that is, I would say, probably 3/4 of the way done, and one that is I just started this afternoon, and they're both made out of Critical Hit Dyes Barbarian Bulky. One is in Le Petit Prince, and the other is in Blue China, which is one of our new colors that's coming out this week. So.
What? You need to stop making nice yarn. I am upset.
I'm not going to make crappy
Do you
yarn
know-
just to just to
I
fit your
don't.
budget.
No, I don't want to. No,
Just
it's
to make
not
you
about.
stop
No,
buying.
it's not. It's not the budget thing. It's there is no space. After I put like that a bunch of the yarn that there was a couple things. There was like I have a bunch of donated yarn. People throw yarn at me. I think that's the problem. I get yarn just kind of tossed my way.
No,
and
I
then-
think that happens a lot when people realize you're a knitter and they're like, oh, well, I have this stash that I'm not using or my relative is no longer using, and here you go, it's all yours. And you're like, thanks, but
I'm bursting.
I
out.
have
I'm
so much
literally-
space.
Yeah, I'm like I'm trying to get through with the machine because I'm bursting out. But like you guys, I just look at I'm like Blue China. That's perfect. Oh,
thanks.
I'm just gonna cry. I need to get through everything I have.
Well, we'll be there.
Okay, I know.
You know?
I know.
If you ever get the itch, for it. Be sure to check out our website, pardonmystash.com, for more pictures of our patterns, project, and yarns. So with the holiday season coming up, we wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming holiday craft fair season. They're pretty ubiquitous in our part of the country. They're probably pretty common wherever you are as well. We are recording this episode because American Thanksgiving is coming up in just a couple of days. This episode is going to air after Thanksgiving. And after the craft fair that we have coming up the Saturday after Thanksgiving, Small Business Saturday. So at the time of recording, we have not actually done the craft fair yet. By the time this episode airs, we will have.
Yeah,
So
you could still hear the hope in my voice, so that's how you know. That's how you know that it's
hey, we had
still-
a good year last year.
No,
we had a pretty good year
really
last
good
year.
Definitely better.
So we wanted to take a little bit of time tonight to talk about just holiday craft fairs in general, what to expect, what experiences we have had at them, both as a customer and as a vendor, and just some kind of tips and tricks for if you are planning on attending a craft fair, what you can expect, and some do's and don'ts. So let's start right off the bat. If you are going to go to a holiday craft fair, where do you find them?
I find that there are a lot of local town websites that will post events like that on their like community boards. I have found them on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I feel kind of old saying that.
No.
I don't have Facebook. So
So funny enough, when we went away last weekend, we were hanging around our Airbnb with Mariel, and we were like, what are we going to do? And actually that is exactly what happened, is a holiday craft fair popped up on my Facebook. And we were like, cool, let's go. We ended up just checking it out because we're like, that's family friendly. We can take her. And it was actually, we didn't buy anything. We took some cards. It's pretty decent. But it's funny that you mentioned Facebook because that's exactly what happened to us. We weren't looking for it, and there it was.
Facebook does a lot of like suggestions based on where you are. And if you're on your local town page, they'll have stuff posted there too.
I find this time of year I can't drive like half a mile without
seeing
tripping over
something. Schools
signs.
like to do 'em
Yeah.
a
For
lot.
schools or churches or
Churches.
town halls, they're everywhere. And I think they start popping up around the end of October, and they tend to peter out around the second week of December. As we're getting up closer to the holiday, fewer people are planning on coming out and vending. Fewer places like churches have the spare time or space to open up to them. And, some people are finishing up their shopping, unless you're my mom, who's been bragging to me for like a month that she's done and things are wrapped. And you know what? Nobody needs that, Mom. Thanks.
Nobody needs that sort of activity.
Nobody needs that.
Someone referred this to me. I have no idea if it's completely legit, but I've been looking at it so far. It's called zapplication.org, and that apparently has a ton of fairs on it. I didn't find any, a ton in particular our area, but it's nationwide. So it has like every state. And I saw there was a lot more in other places, which is that kind of tracks, but just throwing that out there. I do not vouch for that in any, like if somebody's like, this is terrible, I'm sorry. It was just recommended to me and I just started looking at it, but I just thought of that because, but they didn't really have much for, Connecticut.
I feel like I used to know more about like when the fairs were happening because my grandparents always did. Because my grandparents always did the craft fairs.
The
and we
fair
would always,
circuit.
Yeah.
My mom's a big Christmas or holiday craft fair person too. So we used to do them all the time when I was a kid.
Oh no, they vended.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did woodworking.
Oh, that's, I think, one of the fun things about going to the craft fairs is seeing all of the different types of things that are available there, because it's not like going to a fiber fest where you're going to find the same types of vendors. It's really a hodgepodge.
You can get anything at craft
big
fairs.
hodgepodge.
And I love that.
I know. You can get everything from clothes to crafts to, oh God, sometimes you can, they
Pottery.
get pottery, the food.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I swear every time you go, somebody's
we
got
went
like
to, someone
maple
had
syrup or
cannolis.
what?
The one we went
Oh
to,
yeah, the
they
one we
the
went to had cannolis. Like people were selling. Oh my God, they looked so good. We didn't get them, but they look good. So yeah, there is the kind of hodgepodge of holiday stuff. Most of it being holiday themed, but and the other thing we saw, there was this beautiful inlaid woodwork.
Oh, God,
It was super expensive. Like we couldn't afford it, but it was
Yeah,
beautiful to see.
I agree with that. The woodwork is like the thing probably I like the most because
So
it's
cool.
Well, for one, I feel bad because they're lugging all this heavy wood
Yep.
all the way from one place and all the way back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helped my grandparents with that on more than one
Oh
occasion.
man. But when they have it all on display, they don't need a fancy display because the wood does it.
It
Like,
sells itself.
yeah.
You don't need to.
And it's
gussy
worth
that
every
up.
penny for sure. It's not like when I see I'm like that tracks.
Yep.
That this person probably spent hours and days and weeks on this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I was gonna say if you go to a craft fair and you're like, man, I don't know where to look first, I will tell you, walk all the way to the back. Seriously. No, I'm serious because once you're done, you're not going to want to walk back through everything.
Yeah.
So
do
just
the sweep.
so yeah, when you get and honestly, you could do this for fiber festivals too if they're in a big like a New York
we
New
always
England
do.
New England fiber fest. You go all the way to like the farthest corner to where you entered and then work your way back. And then as you work your way back, try not to get too distracted by people with really, really, really fancy displays. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes people with really unique items tend to be have more muted displays. So don't overlook something just because someone has just a table and they've laid it out on the table.
I agree with that.
Don't just oh well, whatever that is. Take a peek and and please say hi to people because a lot of those vendors don't know what to do. They're just they don't know if they should say hi, if they should bother you, if they should not. If you're not too shy or whatever, just even just a quick oh hello, how are you, and just keep moving on. Just because it helps everybody feel comfortable in the situation. I can't tell you how awkward it is when someone as a vendor, when somebody walks up to your booth, picks something up really, really fast, goes like looking at it, and then just like puts it back down, walks away really fast. I'm like, was that okay? Was that legal? It's just like very like quick. So try to, take your time, especially if you're going to go to one. You don't want to like be rushing through it anyway. It's supposed to be a relaxing experience.
Yeah, I would say like same with the Fiber Fest. Like it's a good idea to bring a bag. Not all vendors have bags to give you. So bring a bag if you're planning on doing some shopping. I like to do the sweep. We always do that when we go to craft fairs in general.
Do the first sweep.
Do the sweep first. Figure out, what you want to buy, what's in your budget, and then go back. But the other caveat to that is craft fairs are not usually mass production. So if you see something you really like and you want it, it might be a good idea to grab it right away because odds are that crafter is not going to have the same item in stock. So if you see it, you want it, probably a good idea to grab it right then and there.
Also, if you see something, because it is a craft fair, if you see something and it's like you really like it, but man, I wish it was this color or that, it is not rude to ask the vendor, hey, would you be able to make it like this? Because 9 times out of 10, they'd be like, sure. And then they could like work it out. If you're like not on a tight deadline to get the item, especially if you're going to craft fairs in November for something in December, you actually might be able to do like a commission with somebody and get it in time. You're obviously not going to get it that day, but like you might still get it in time for the holidays. And then you could, have something in your unique color or style or however you want it done.
Take cards.
Yeah.
Oh, I always take
cards. If people have business cards, they have them there for a reason. They want you to take them.
I like to take pictures of the card and then like an item that I saw in their booth that I liked. Like even if I can't afford it or if it's not a right now purchase or if it's something that I want to commission for later, I'll take a picture of what they have. Mm-hmm. So I can be like, oh, right, that guy.
Yeah. And that's that's always an option too. It's like if they have the cards out, it means they want you to take them. Jess grabbed a whole bunch of cards at the last fair that we went to, things that she really liked, but they were not purchases we were going to be making right now.
Well, yeah, but handmade stuff is expensive sometimes.
It can be.
It's an investment.
It's also a good idea, like say if you are we used to do this all the time when we went to Brimfield to the antique show. A lot of places will ship to home. Mm-hmm. And in that case, you can always order online when you get home and have it shipped there. And rather than picking it up and taking it home with you, especially if you're traveling from out of state or from somewhere far away, you don't have the capacity to bring something large home.
A lot of places that sell larger items expect that too. Like their items are really for display, and then they expect
they don't bring their whole stock. Well, we're not bringing our whole stock to the fair next weekend. No, absolutely not. We did that last year. That was a mistake.
I am not toting all those shirts. I'm just saying. I will bring one of like each design, but like, and then I'll just list the sizes, but it's just like,
right.
Oh no, it's too crazy.
And that's another thing too. It's that a lot of times vendors are bound by space constraints, or just shipping constraints of how they're going to get their merchandise there. So they may not have exactly what you are looking for, in stock at the show, but it is very possible that they have it back at their home base and can ship it out right away. I know some vendors will do online orders like right there at the store. So that's always a possibility as well.
This is like kind of a tip for, I don't know, what thing do you use for your checkout?
Square.
Okay. So with Square, you can actually set it up. So if you wanted to do like a commission, you could, or customize an option, you can actually do it right then and there.
Oh, see, that's sweet.
Just so you know, you have to go on the web app though. And this, I guess, is a tip to anyone if you're using Square. There is an option where you can kind of, I don't remember the exact word for it, but it's when you're on the edit screen, there's like a way to set up, you have the variations option, but then there's also just options where it's optional items that you can select with it. So for mine, I did like when I put in the different beanies, I also put as an option the palm, like if you wanted to add on the palm, and then like the different. I don't think I'm gonna track the colors because I have so many palms. But I don't think
Palm
it's wise.
pink versus palm orange.
I will
so
not
on and so
remember which one is which. So, but yeah, I'll just to mark that a palm got sold.
Palm in general.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, and that's good too in terms of a vendor. I know, just to make sure that you mark what actually does sell. Because like, hey, if you just don't know what you just sold and then you're like, that was cool. I think I sold a lot of this one. Yeah, I'll make more of that. And then like your hot selling item was something else and you just kind of mix the two. Pro tip.
Yeah, we always do a really extensive inventory sweep, like right before we did it last year before the show. We're doing it this year before the show, just to make sure that we have everything in stock. So we're not
we have an
putting
idea,
things on
too.
that we don't have and so on and so forth. But yeah, no, we kind of learned our lesson from last year. Instead of bringing every single thing that we had, we're only bringing like
some of it.
a percentage of it. Enough of a display.
Also, if they will let you, you can also get these. They're like these mini shopping carts. When I was growing up, my family used them to bring the groceries home. But you could,
I know what you're talking about.
they got four wheels. It's like four wheels. The two in the back are like heavy duty.
Yeah.
And
My grandma used to have one of those.
yes. I still have one. I like
Yeah.
mine. But you can also, if you're someone that like maybe carrying a bunch of bags is not a happy time for you and you really want to enjoy walking around the craft show or fair, you really can extend your energy if you have that little thing with you, because you can actually just kind of park it if you're looking at a booth and you don't have to actively hold everything as you're trying to look at different tables. Oh, bring cash.
Yeah.
Don't expect everybody to have a card reader.
Yeah.
Don't expect the place to always have good Wi-Fi.
That too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like
That
some
was so
places
rough.
don't have Wi-Fi, and electronic sales don't always go through. So
And don't expect every place to have an ATM either.
Yeah.
right, especially if it's in a school or a
Yeah,
church. Most
they're not
schools and
going
churches
to.
do not have ATMs. So, plan accordingly. Think carefully before you decide to haggle. And I say that with a lot of caveat because I know in some cultures haggling at a craft show or a market, that is the custom, that is the norm. If you're not sure, be careful about choosing to haggle with a craftsperson. And take no for an answer if they don't want to do that, if their price is firm. Try to remember also, guys, that this is not a big box store
Or a tag sale.
Yeah.
This is somebody putting their livelihood out on the market, and try to respect that. And if the price is not what you're willing to pay, try to be respectful about that. Everybody knows, especially if it's knit garments, everybody knows you can buy a knit garment from a big box store for cheaper. Everybody knows that. You're not telling an artisan anything new. But it is not a nice thing to say ever. If you can make it, also don't say that to them. Please don't say that to them.
Cool story, bro.
Just remember to be polite. We've talked extensively on this podcast about the state of the crafting world and how, there have been problems with Fiberfest. There have been problems with craft fairs, with shows shutting down, with vendors and teachers being left out in the cold, losing money. We want artisans, we want crafters to still feel comfortable doing craft shows and vending. And they're not going to do that if they don't feel it's worth the investment. So remember that these people who are vending, they have brought their stuff out. They have, taken the risk, financial, emotional,
Time.
physical, to do this. So again, and some people are really cool with haggling, and that is great. But if they're not, take it as it is, and you either buy the item or don't buy the item as is.
I always feel like if a craft person is putting a price tag on something that they have crafted, then that is what they're telling me their time is worth.
Right, and I agree with that.
You know, you're paying for their skill. You're paying for the time that they put into the item, and you're paying for the item itself. Like, you don't have to do that. You're paying somebody else to do that. So you should pay them what they feel their time is worth.
Oh, can you please ask before you just take a photo of something?
Yeah.
Because it's not that nobody wants you to not take photos of their items. The issue is more, there's a lot of people who will kind of go through a craft show and see what's selling and then take photos of those items and then replicate them. I've
you know
seen
what?
that happen so many
I have
times.
never asked a vendor if I could take a photo of their stuff. I usually just do it.
Most people do.
I bet they all think I'm like some jerk trying to steal
I
their
don't-
ideas.
Well, yeah. I think if you just ask, like, it's even if you like, honestly, like, as long as you're not, I think it's really obvious when somebody who's just going in and being like, yeah, I'm just going to see what I like here and do this later. It's pretty obvious because they come out with their phone. They're not like looking at your items and then like, wow, this is so cool. And then going like, I really want to remember this vendor. Like, there's a difference between that and then like somebody like literally with their phone in their hand as they walk up to you and you're like, what are you doing? Come on, bro.
No, I know there's a lot of places. We saw this when we were up in Salem last week. A lot of places will have a no cell phone policy and no photo policy. And it's more the idea of like shopping around. Like, can I get this cheaper like on
elsewhere.
Amazon or something like that? Like,
You
if I
probably
take a
could.
picture of it. Right.
Probably could. Go to Etsy. You can find all the folks that are not actually crafters that are making knockoffs. Hooray! That are killing all that.
Well, and there have been problems of people like taking popular craft art and things like that, and then they post it on Etsy or they post it on Facebook and they pretend to be selling it, and it's a scam.
Yeah.
That has happened to artisans before. So I can totally understand why people would be anxious. Well, that's happened a lot. That is what happened a few years ago with Blue Brick and Wingspan.
Oh.
Somebody took a picture of her it was not her pattern. It was the Wingspan pattern with Blue Brick Fiber Arts Ibis. And it was going viral at the time, and somebody else put an ad for it on Facebook, and people were buying, quote unquote, the yarn and the pattern from this scammer, and they were just taking their money. They weren't actually like, they weren't going to fulfill any of those no. Yeah. So then of course it makes the designer look bad. It makes the dyer look bad, and it's not their fault at all. So, that's a thing. Go with an open mind.
Oh, I always do.
One of the worst things I think people can do is go to a craft fair and assume that they're all the same. Like, I've been to a holiday craft fair. I know what I'm going to find. I'm looking for a very specific item. You probably are not going to find a specific thing that you're looking for. That's not really what a craft fair is for.
I always go into a craft fair going, ooh, I wonder what I'm going to find.
I know.
Yeah,
it is. It's
like,
kind of like a treasure hunt. Like, you don't know what you're going to find. But if you are going shopping, if you're like, I know that my sister-in-law likes X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to go look for that at the craft fair. No, that's not. Look for that online.
Unless it's something like, I know your mom likes gnomes. I'm probably going to find like 8,000 gnomes at a craft fair.
She has 8,000 gnomes.
I know, but I could find a new one that she doesn't have. That's the thing. You're going to find an original one, man.
Right. If you go into it with that, or like, like your mom likes snowmen.
Yeah, oh God.
Like, so I'm going to look for something snowmen that's original and something that, you'll have a great time doing that. A broad search. A narrow search is going to be harder.
Yeah.
So broad searches, open mind, and talk to people. Talk to craftspeople. Like, speaking as a vendor, we loved it last year when people came and asked us questions about our yarn, or about Jess's little crocheted creations that she had for sale. Like, we love that. Even if people don't buy it, it's still really nice to
Yeah.
hear if you like something,
That
even if
people
you
have
have
an
no intention of
interest.
buying it, it's out of your budget, or you have no reason to buy it, you just like the way it looks, like, please tell the vendor, because that's going to make their day. Like, even if they don't buy it, it's just nice to hear that your stuff is liked. That's all the time we have for this episode. For additional content and opportunities to connect with the cast, check out our website at pardonmystash.com. Be sure to tune in next time for more fun, friends, and fiber at Pardon My Stash.